Hello and welcome to this Agents Armor Broker tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be covering how to log in, and we're going to go back and look at the administrative panel, password changes, adding and editing agents, and some other features that the back end offers you as a broker as well as your agents. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go into your browser to go to agentsarmor.com. Once you're here on the website, I want you to click on the login button. This is going to open up this panel here, and then use the username and password that you selected when you signed up for your Agents Armor account. So I have a few here. Okay, so once you do that, this is what you should be seeing. You're not going to have anything in this information right here. This should all be blank because you haven't populated it with any agents and haven't began using the Agents Armor application as of yet. But once you do, this will start to get populated, and I can explain a little bit of that to you here in a bit. If you need to change your password at any time, you can just come over here to change password, and you'll want to put in your old password and your new password in these blocks here. Obviously you're going to need to confirm that and then just hit update, and it'll change your password immediately. Now, I always recommend that you use upper and lowercase letters as well as symbols in your password. You know, it should be something that you can remember easily, but it's also a password that you definitely want to make complicated enough that some hacking software can't break it rather easily. Okay, from there I want to take you down to, I don't want to jump into Manage Agents quite yet. Let's go down to Manage Alerts. And in this panel, what this is going to do is it's going to show you the agents that are actively utilizing the Agents Armor application on their mobile device. That'll come up here. And the archived module down here is where all of that information gets dropped into anytime an agent has an alert or any session ends. So when they start a session and they end a session, or they have an alert, that information gets dropped down in here. So this will get, there'll be quite a bit of information that starts getting dropped in here depending upon the number of agents that you use. Now, this information is archived indefinitely. It's also archived on our side. On the Agents Armor side, we have the same information from all agents and all brokerages across the country, and we keep that information on file indefinitely as it is now, because we want to have it accessible should that information be needed in the future by, for instance, law enforcement. So to show you what that looks like, I don't have any information here now. So what I'm going to do is just log out shortly here, and I'm going to log in just to show you what that looks like to one of the other accounts that we have here. Let's do this one. Nope. Okay, so as you can see, this is an agent screen, so it just doesn't have the Manage Agents tab over here, but everything else is relatively the same. So they have an alert management module here as well. So here's what the archive module looks like down here. You can see I have a bunch of stuff because I've been utilizing the app. And so what you'll see on with an agent is when they're signed on, it'll look just like this. It'll be up here, okay? And I'll have this little check mark. If they fail to check in, or they issue some sort of a duress or other alert, 911 button, something like that, this exclamation mark will be next to their name. So anything that they upload will come up here on these, as you can see where it says View here. So here, let's look at this one, number 7. You can see that it's highlighted because I did upload an image. And this is just an image of my office from an earlier session that I uploaded. And that was immediately available to anyone who had accessed the back end of my administrative panel for this particular agent, which was me. And they could see that information live in real time. But it would have been up here as long as I was actively using the app. So but then when you log off your session, boom, it gets dropped down here to the bottom, and that's where all of the information is archived. Now, this could have been an image of a vehicle tag, a person, or a driver's license, ID card, something of that nature. And notes and voice notes also get dropped in here as well, and they all sit up here. You can see the view map, history, view ID. Let's see if this shows where my location was at that time. That's not showing it. Let's go to another one. Let's look. Now these are all tests. Here we go. So here is one where it was activated, and I was at this location in this particular subdivision. So that's what you would see, and this would all obviously be up here. And if you have multiple agents, then and they're all signed on at the same time, or they have their armor activated at the same time, then they'll just be dropped in here. And if you have 20 agents using it, then there'll be 20 agents' names listed here, and it'll show you what's going on. This is valuable. The agents have this this module here, but then they can provide that information to a loved one or a partner or just someone that they trust who can access this individually for them, but also as a broker or somebody managing your own database. If an agent does send out an alert and you're responsible for it or you're receiving it, you can also go on there and you can listen to their voice notes and maybe get more accurate information as to what their location is. For instance, if they were in a condo, the GPS is going to provide you with a location, but it's not going to provide you with a unit number that they're in. So, part of our recommendations to the agents is to use that voice notes feature as they're heading out to look at properties, and just leave that in there. So if you say, okay, they're at this condo and they're in unit 210, for instance, that'll be right there in the voice. If they get an alert, you can call law enforcement. You can say, hey, the agent's not responding. They've sent up an alert. They should be in unit 210. So it just helps in that respect. So let's go ahead and log out of here and go back to the broker. Oops. So I need to put in a password. Okay. All right, so here's our broker panel. All right, so we talked about the alerts. Now let's talk about the Safe Agent program. Safe Agent program is a Safe Agent real estate agent safety training program that I developed. It's a program that I teach as well, and I offer this program free of charge to all of our subscribers. Here you'll have a PowerPoint presentation. This is turnkey. PDF files, a training manual, and brochures if you wanted to have those printed up. This is something that agents they also have access to this. So it's something that they can peruse on their own, or if you want to do some sort of training for your brokerage or for your association, you're more than welcome to use these materials to do that. Now I will say these materials are copyright materials, and we do not want them used for profit. It's safety information. It's something that I want to keep free, because I want to make sure that agents have all the information available to them to try to do their best to increase their safety awareness and perhaps save their lives. So it's not information that I'm looking to make money off of. And I would ask that anyone who gets access to this information would do the same. So that's what we want to do. So other than trying to sell tickets to a training class using my copyright information, I really don't have any problem with anyone using it, even in large groups. That's what it's intended for, and that's what we would prefer to. That's how we would prefer to see it used as well. Now, let's get into manage agents quickly. I'm trying to keep this brief. I know we're up to about 9 minutes now. So if we go to manage agents, this is going to be the most important thing to pay attention to right now. Okay, so here's where all of your agents are going to be listed. So if you have 50 agents, 100 agents, 1,000 agents, this is where they're going to be. Okay, and this is where you're going to be able to manage them from. If you just have a handful of agents and you want to add them manually, you can do that here. It's pretty self-explanatory. You've got a name, you've got to have an email, a valid email address. You would be assigning the agent a password. They could go in and change it later, but in this particular instance, you'll be giving them a password yourself manually. And then we need a full 10-digit phone number. Has to be 10 digits, otherwise SMS text will not work, and I'm sure that you've all encountered that. If you've ever tried to send a text to a 7-digit number, it typically won't work. Address, it's a required. You can obviously, it could be the brokerage address. That's fine. as long as something's in there. Okay, so for most of you, you're going to want to upload a CSV file. And just going to make it a lot easier on you, but it has to be done correctly. It's very important. There's only going to be 3 fields in your CSV file. So if you have a CSV file for your agents and there's all kinds of information in there, and you have, 8 or 10 fields, their address, their home phone number, what type of agent, if they're a buyer's broker, and all that stuff has to be taken out. So you'll need to delete all of those fields and break it down to 3 fields. If you have the last name first, you can't have that. It's got to be first name, last name, and that has to be in one field only. So if you have them separated, first and last name, in 2 separate fields, those fields will have to be joined together. And there is a way to do that relatively easily without having to delete those fields and manually enter that information into your CSV file. If you don't know how to use it, I will be providing some information here on our site that will show you how you can do that, but we won't get into that right away. The important thing to understand right now is that you have to have 3 fields with first name, last name, and the agent name field, a valid email address in the second field, and a 10-digit phone number in the third field. That's it. So let's go into browse here. I've already created one. So this is a CSV test, and on that I'll make a quick note. It has to be a CSV file. So although these files are created in Excel, you need to save it as a CSV file. Otherwise it won't work. Okay, so I've grabbed my file, I click submit, and it populated in here. Okay, here's obviously this is a blank space because that's how I had it set up in the CSV file. That's no big deal. I can get rid of it. I just delete it. And there it is. So this is what it'll look like, except you'll have multiple agents in here. And you'll just want to check and make sure that the emails are under the email and the phone's under the phone and the name's under the name. If you need to edit, I'll touch on this quickly. You should never have to do this. The agents have access to this themselves. So if they want to change their passwords, they'll change their own passwords. If they need to change their email, they'll change their own email. Same thing with their phone numbers. It's their responsibility to do this. It's not yours, and we know that you're busy running brokerages and associations, and you can't necessarily be managing, all of these user accounts. But it is there if necessary. It is there if you need to use it, and that's the only reason that it is there. So I won't talk too much more about that. If you have an agent that leaves, real simple. You saw me do it earlier. You just delete them. Okay, I'm not going to delete that one right now, but you just click OK, and they're gone. That's it. And if you have new agents, let's say you have 85 agents, but you've purchased 100 licenses. You get a new agent in your brokerage. Obviously, Agents Armor and this program are great value-added benefits that you can provide to your agents or the agents in your association. And they're great. It's a great recruiting tool as well. So if you get a new agent, then I would recommend you just come in here. You don't want to get involved in a CSV upload again. As new agents come into your office or your association, have someone that's responsible. Just make it another part of bringing a new agent on. This just becomes it. This information gets plugged in here. That's just part of a new agent coming into your brokerage, and that's it. Okay. When I populated this here, automatically emails were sent out to these agents. Now, obviously, these are my made-up emails, but these agents will receive an automated email from Agents Armor telling them exactly how to proceed in activating the Armor on their mobile device and having access to their own back-end modules. Okay, so they'll get that information. They'll also, on the upload CSV part of it, the agents will also have automated passwords. So we've already provided another video explaining to agents how to use this system and that they need to go in and change those automated passwords themselves manually. That really about sums it up. I mean, this is, the most important thing I can tell you is the CSV file. 3 fields: name, valid email, 10-digit phone number, first name, last name in one field. Very important. If you fail to upload the CSV file correctly, it will not work. And you're probably going to need our help, which is fine. We're happy to help you. So that being said, if you have any questions or concerns, suggestions, you can reach out to me at www.agentsarmor.com. You can have a support ticket started there, or you can reach me directly via the contact form that goes right to my email account, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Our support staff is always there for you as well. And we hope you're all having a great day, and we just ask you to please stay safe. Thank you.